Hi, everybody. My name is Alan Wright. I'm the president and founder of Zephyr Conferences. We run 5 conferences in the food, wine, and beer industries, and we're doing a 10-part video series for you on marketing for small businesses in the food, wine, and beer industries. And today we're going to talk about social media marketing. It's our 6th week in the series, and I brought along Sarah Wollner, who's our conference's marketing manager and engages in social media for our 5 conferences and also teaches at our conferences from time to time. So Sarah's going to cover the platforms, which is the meaty stuff you really want to hear, and I'm going to just do a brief introduction of sort of what social media marketing is and is not. So we'll get right into this. And this is our overview slide, and I want to talk about what social media marketing is not. It's not free. You have to remember that there is a cost in terms of your time, and there's also oftentimes a cost in terms of advertising dollars, which are necessary to make some marketing platforms work well. It's also not always that effective. A lot of times social media marketing creates a lot of chatter and a lot of buzz, but not necessarily a lot of conversions for what you're actually looking for, sales, event tickets, whatever that might be. And it's not a one-directional promotional tool like traditional advertising is. So that's important to remember. And we'll talk about that in the next slide, which is how to execute it. What if it's not a one-directional promotional tool, what we like to consider it is as a community engagement tool. This is the meat of social media marketing. This is what all marketing is either already is or is moving towards. This is what modern marketing is. And it's driven not by marketers, it's driven by the consumers. They no longer want to be told what to buy or why they should buy something. They want to establish relationships with you. They want to have an emotional connection with brewers, with food producers, chefs, winemakers, and they want to feel good about their purchasing choices. So that is what social media marketing is really excellent at. You also should definitely be responding quickly. That's important in social media. People expect instantaneous reactions and responses. You want to make sure you're tracking your results, which you can do by referring people to URLs, for example, that track specific responses so that you know, is your time being worthwhile spent? Sharing the love is important. It's not just about you. It's not your message that you just want to get out there. You want to engage in the community, and you can do that by liking, reposting, sharing, commenting, etc. And in general, this isn't entirely true, but more is better. If you engage in a small amount of it, people are just not going to find you. And so really the key is to choose a specific number of platforms and execute those well. So next slide is going to talk about our specific platforms, and this is where I'm passing it off to Sarah. Have at it, Sarah.
Yeah, absolutely. As Alan mentioned, more is better. Sometimes I like to say quantity over quality, and that seems a little bit backwards for a lot of companies. And I don't mean sacrifice the quality, but you never know what's going to resonate with your audience. The more you post, the more possible engagement you get. And eventually, we call that going viral. However, there's a lot you can do with a smaller audience of, 100, 1,000. So we're going to get into talking about Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and a little bit of TikTok because it's new and it's hot. And then next week, we will touch on YouTube. All right, Twitter. Like, comments, retweets. This might seem a little obvious, but most brands aren't consistent in this. Twitter makes it easy to connect with people just by retweeting. And the character amount is only 280 characters, which is relatively short, but kind of gives you an excuse to make it short, make it sweet, make it really engaging. And when I say engaging, we like to say don't be boring. You add in GIFs or GIFs, memes to keep it interesting. And you can either add that in your actual tweet, in a thread, or even in a reply to someone. So your focus should be on getting retweeted. Kind of line up with your brand and what your position is, and then do that as much as you can. So you can do this by tagging businesses, tagging people. If someone visits your brewery or if someone tries out your product, go ahead and just drop them some love and tag them. You can either shout out other businesses maybe you think are doing well or something that you think is interesting, or maybe start a little controversy, right? Start the conversation. That's a simple and easy way to engage. Now, hashtags are big on each social media platform and they're used for different things. So you can include a hashtag to give context to a tweet, or you can create a conversation longevity by including it in. So if you're offering a specific promotion, maybe attach a hashtag to it. If it's Mother's Day or Father's Day, you say, "We're Zephyr Conferences," and you say, Zephyr Mom, and what is it to be a Zephyr Mom? And you make conversation around that. And that way your audience can easily find everything that's associated with that conversation. The new thing I want to mention is Twitter Fleets, and this is Twitter's version of stories. They disappear after 24 hours. You can use Fleets to share a tweet, to write something on your own, to record a video, or to post a photo. So Twitter advertises this as a little more casual way of interacting with your followers, so it's something to explore. Everybody is crunched for time, and we know if you're a small business, trying to be an expert at each of these social medias and posting is a full-time job. So Hootsuite is a free website that allows you to schedule posts ahead of time. And you don't need to be on every single social media in order to find success. If you're a small business, think about where your customers are and then try to be on those platforms. And each platform has a different personality. So when you think about Twitter or the next social medias that we'll run through, think about which one fits you best. All right, let's get into Facebook. Facebook has 4 different sections, which is pages for the first one, and you want to optimize your page. We talked about tracking links. So if you have a link in there, make sure you can track it. Optimize your page, make sure that your name and your profile are quite clear about you. Are you a product? Are you a service? Are you local? Are you international? Make it clear for the page so that people know who they're following and what they're following. And you want people who want to follow you because of what you post, and then your engagement will increase because they know what they're getting themselves into. So for content, don't just write about you, write about your audience. Test out different things and analyze. You can see statistics on each post. You can see how many people clicked. You can see how many people liked, shared it. So go in, test out different strategies, and then analyze after, and then continue down the ones that were successful. You can experiment with different things. Posting time. We've done a little bit of research, and a nighttime, we see a little bit more engagement. However, that might not be the right time to post for you. So again, experiment with that time. The post length, while Facebook has no character restriction, like Twitter, shorter posts are typically better, and that's around 0 to 50 characters. Variety, so post some videos. Those are really, really hot right now. People love to interact and watch those videos. Photos, post a story, post regular text. And then as far as scheduling, Facebook allows you to do that inside the app. So we would recommend doing that maybe a week and ahead. And then you can add in little Facebook posts in between if you have something that you want to share right now. And then when I think about Facebook, I like to think of it as the marketing funnel. So you have the awareness, you have interest, desire, and action. So that pages is mostly for awareness. Then you have interest going into the Facebook groups, and that's where you really build your community. So you can do this by engaging people with questions or polls. And then once you do that, you're kind of warming up your audience, and then you can drop into their messages. So maybe you ask a question, and then, what's your favorite beer, IPA, a lager, and then you drop into their DMs like, hey, we have a $2 off, tap beers tonight. And then that's a way to not just have them have interest in your product, but that they're in your group and wanting to learn more. And then you drop into their DMs and they feel that personal connection to you. And so you can do this by two ways too. You can direct message them, or Facebook ads allows you to send a mass messenger message to your group. The last thing to mention is Facebook events. Facebook now allows you to create and host on the platform. So you can do this either free, or you can actually charge money for this. And I think it's something to explore right now, especially to get people more engaged during the pandemic time. All right, moving on to Instagram. Instagram has high engagement for the food and drink industry. It's actually among the top 5 industries for engagement rate. So along with sports and influencers. So if you're in the food and drink industry, awesome. You should possibly consider focusing your efforts more on Instagram. Actually, a 2021 study from Rival IQ found that it's 10 times the engagement rate on Instagram rather than Twitter or Facebook for the food and drink industry, but specifically alcohol. So it doesn't take too long to post, but there are tips and tricks to make it successful. Their post strategy includes something from hashtags, which we all know about hashtags, and there's kind of confusion on how many hashtags to post. You can post up to 30, and I would recommend using all of them. You can also add a geolocation to your post, and this actually makes your post show up when people click on that location, just giving you more exposure. And another little tip that I find that was very successful is tag yourself in your own photos. This just gives people one more place to find you. All right, be consistent with your theme. Your followers choose to follow you for a reason. Just like your other social medias, you want to have both consistency in the type of photo and the photos themselves. So whether they're, dim or black and white, you want to keep that consistent instead of trying something new every single post. You have an audience. You probably already have an audience there that follows you. They want to see similar things in the future, but keep it fun, keep it interesting, and you can still experiment with different sort of things. It is easier to gain followers if you narrow in on your niche, because you don't and you shouldn't be everything to everyone. All right, another aspect of Instagram is stories, and they aren't necessarily used to grow your audience. They are used to engage your audience, and that is just as important. And you can absolutely use stories to connect directly with your followers. The same thing with Facebook messages. You can use polls and questions and swipe to votes and quizzes. And once people answer those questions, you've warmed them up, and then you can go into their direct messages and then follow up with them with, extra promotions or just talking with them, starting the conversation. In the description of this video, actually, there will be a link on how to effectively engage your audience through stories. So check that out for more information. Reels is very exciting. It's relatively new to Instagram, and it's quite an excellent opportunity to get noticed, especially for smaller accounts. So Instagram is promoting it more than IGTV or stories because it is new. So Reels are typically short vertical videos. They're 15 to 30 seconds long, and they're meant to be quick, fun, and informational. They're definitely worth exploring. All right. Speaking of Reels and short videos, TikTok is a hot new app. It is the same sort of thing. It is a platform with short vertical videos. You're looking for a 9:16 ratio. The maximum per length is 60 seconds, and you can add music or voiceover, and it's a great way to show rather than tell why you are unique and different. There's a few different strategies that you can use that involve collaboration with other brands, or I would recommend influencers. If you're a national company, you can work with pretty much anyone. If you are local, there's definitely people in your area. We call those micro influencers that have a smaller community, but they're highly engaged. They have a highly engaged following. So check them out and just reach out. A lot of them will do free videos or free promotion for you just by you reaching out and being nice. So it's worth a shot. We go into a hook. So videos are short. You want to catch people's attention within the first 2 seconds. It's way too easy to swipe. So you can do this by saying something or showing something that's engaging. I say be controversial. I'm not talking about politics or religion. I'm talking about your industry controversial. So maybe if you're into the chocolate industry, you say, oh, white chocolate is the best chocolate. That's pretty controversial. Is white chocolate even chocolate? So then again, you're proposing this question or this opinion, and you're inviting people in to comment or to like or to share, and that's how your video gets pushed to a new audience and ends up going viral or being seen by more people. Participate in trends. There's new trends every single day. You can go check out the discovery page for more. Again, there's an article about this linked in the description about more TikTok strategies that you can use to go viral. And the last thing, for any video, think about the 4 E's, which is it educational? Is it emotional, engaging, or entertaining? If you hit one or more of those, you have a great opportunity and possibility to engage more people. So think about that. And again, choose the platform that best suits you. It's better for you to focus on 1 or 2 and do it well than inconsistently post on all platforms. And I'll turn it back over to Alan.
Thank you, Sarah. And we hope that all of you got something out of this social media marketing video. And next week, we'll be moving on to video marketing.